What happens if you quit salt for 30 days? Most of the salt you eat never comes from your salt shaker. It hides in bread, sauces, cereal, canned soup, meat substitutes, and snacks. So what really happens if you cut that extra salt for a month? Will you feel lighter, dizzy, calmer, or nothing at all? Let us walk through the science of a month with much less salt. First, salt is not evil. Your body genuinely needs some sodium. Sodium helps nerves send signals, muscles contract, and fluids stay in balance. Without enough sodium, your heart, brain, and circulation cannot work properly. The real problem today is not sodium's existence but constant overload. Typical modern diets contain far more salt than health organizations recommend. Most of that excess comes from processed food, not home cooking. Your kidneys have to handle every grain of sodium that enters. They filter your blood, deciding how much salt and water to excrete. When sodium keeps coming in high amounts, kidneys constantly fight to keep balance. A 30-day reduction finally gives them a chance to reset their workload. During the first few days, you feel the difference most on your tongue. Meals taste flat, boring, almost like someone muted the entire flavor spectrum. Your brain starts remembering chips, instant noodles, and salty fast food. Those cravings feel intense, but they are not proof of sodium deficiency. They show how strongly your reward system links salt with comfort and pleasure. Every salty bite used to bring a tiny dopamine spike in your brain. When those spikes disappear, your brain complains and asks for the old pattern. While you negotiate with cravings, your kidneys begin adjusting quietly in the background. They notice lower sodium coming in and slowly change how much they excrete. Because sodium attracts water, your body starts releasing stored fluid into urine. You may pee more frequently and see the scale drop a little. That early weight loss is mostly water, not magical fat burning overnight. Even water loss, however, changes important numbers inside your blood vessels. Sodium in your bloodstream pulls water into circulation through simple osmosis. More water inside vessels means more volume pushing against their delicate walls. That extra volume raises blood pressure and forces your heart to work harder. Over years, high pressure is associated with strokes, heart attacks, and kidney damage. When you cut salt, your body can release some of that extra volume. Studies show many people see blood pressure improvements within 1 or 2 weeks. Salt-sensitive individuals usually experience the biggest drops from moderate reductions, not extremes. Even small reductions in pressure can support long-term cardiovascular protection. Your kidneys are at the center of this story, not side characters. They constantly sense blood volume, sodium concentration, and hormonal signals. High salt diets force them to excrete large sodium loads day after day. Over decades, that strain is associated with chronic kidney disease and hypertension. Reducing sodium for 30 days will not cure advanced kidney damage. However, it can give remaining nephrons a break and support better regulation. Think of it as easing the workload on an overused, underappreciated filter. You also see salt's influence in water retention and visible puffiness. Sodium encourages tissues to hold extra water like a sponge. With less salt, that sponge slowly squeezes out some trapped fluid. Your ankles may feel less swollen after long hours on your feet. Your fingers might shrink enough that rings slide more easily. Your face can look less puffy in morning photos or mirrors. Large human studies connect higher sodium intake with more frequent bloating complaints. Cutting back usually means less swelling even before any major fat loss. Around the second week, something surprising happens on your tongue. Your taste buds begin resetting their sensitivity to salt. The same foods that tasted dull now start revealing hidden flavors. You notice natural saltiness in cheese, eggs, shellfish, and some vegetables. Herbs, garlic, pepper, and lemon feel louder without the constant salt backdrop. Many processed foods now taste aggressively salty or strangely artificial to you. That shift means your nervous system has adjusted its idea of normal stimulation. The reward circuits in your brain also start changing their habits. Late-night urges for chips may appear less intense or less frequent. You realize some cravings were boredom or routine, not true physical need. Researchers have linked high salt intake with exaggerated stress responses in some studies. Reducing salt may help your body respond more calmly to daily stressors. It is not a magic mood cure, but physiology supports a potential effect. A 30-day challenge also exposes how much sodium hides in everyday products. You start reading labels and discovering shocking salt numbers in normal portions. Bread, cereal, sauces, soups, and plant-based meats can be major sources. To lower sodium, you often end up cooking more meals at home. Home cooking usually includes more whole foods and fewer ultra-processed ingredients. That improvement in overall diet quality may matter as much as sodium itself. With all these benefits, it is tempting to chase complete sodium elimination. That would be a serious mistake for most people. Your cells rely on sodium to maintain electrical gradients and fluid distribution. If sodium drops too low, your blood chemistry becomes dangerously unbalanced. Symptoms of low sodium can include nausea, weakness, confusion, and headaches. In severe hyponatremia, seizures and brain swelling can even occur. This risk is higher in endurance athletes, heavy sweaters, or people on diuretics. People with adrenal, kidney, or hormonal disorders may also handle sodium differently. So the goal is not zero salt, but a healthy personalized range. Many guidelines suggest around 4 to 6 grams of salt per day. The right amount for you depends on size, activity, and medical conditions. Athletes in hot climates may need more sodium than sedentary office workers. People with high blood pressure or kidney disease often need stricter limits. That is why discussing big changes with a professional is so important. By the 3rd week, your body has mostly settled into the new pattern. You may feel lighter, less swollen, and more aware of subtle sensations. Maybe climbing stairs feels easier because your heart pushes against lower resistance. Maybe you sleep better without late-night salty snacks driving thirst and restlessness. Some people notice fewer morning headaches or less throbbing behind the eyes. Others mainly appreciate having more control over cravings and food choices. Your blood vessels and kidneys appreciate the calmer environment, regardless of subjective sensations. Remember that many benefits show up slowly in lab numbers, not dramatic fireworks. The most valuable part of a 30-day reset is usually awareness. You see clearly how much salt was hiding in your standard meals. You learn which foods spike your desire for salty flavors and which do not. You discover how your blood pressure and body feel with lower sodium overall. Armed with that experience, you can design a long-term balance intentionally. Maybe you keep processed foods low and season home meals more carefully. Maybe you allow indulgent salty restaurant meals, but treat them as special occasions. Maybe you prioritize flavor from herbs, spices, citrus, and quality ingredients instead. Salt becomes a deliberate decision, not a constant unconscious background noise. Reducing salt will not fix every health problem or replace all treatments. It can, however, lower one important burden on your heart and kidneys. Combined with good sleep, movement, and stress management, effects can be meaningful. Some people must be extra careful when changing sodium intake quickly. If you have heart failure, kidney disease, or adrenal problems, talk first. If you take diuretics or blood pressure medicine, medical guidance is essential. Endurance athletes, reducing salt, should monitor performance dizziness and unusual fatigue. For most relatively healthy adults, moderate reduction is safe and often beneficial. The aim is not suffering, but collaboration with your body's natural regulation systems. Salt is powerful because it sits right at the intersection of taste and physiology. It shapes what you crave and how your heart and vessels behave. For years, your kidneys have quietly compensated for every salty snack decision. They rarely complain until damage has already accumulated deep inside their filters. A 30-day reset is one way to finally listen to them. You are not required to become perfect or eat flavorless food forever. You are simply invited to notice how salt truly affects your body. Once you see that clearly, it becomes easier to choose wisely. Maybe you decide the afternoon chips are not worth the swollen fingers anymore. Maybe you discover homemade soup with herbs satisfies you more than instant noodles. Maybe you simply enjoy waking up less puffy and more comfortable in your skin. Salt did not change. Your relationship with it quietly transformed. That kind of shift can ripple into other areas of self-care. You start asking where else. Small, consistent changes might reshape your health trajectory. You recognize that bodies adapt when we stop overwhelming them every single day. In that sense, the salt experiment becomes bigger than seasoning. It becomes a reminder that less can sometimes unlock more stability and clarity. Of course, 1 month is only a starting point, not a finish line. The real gains appear when you keep a balanced approach long after the challenge. Your heart, kidneys, and blood vessels thrive on that kind of steady respect. Salt then becomes an ally, not a constant hidden stressor. You control how loudly it speaks inside your body each day. So, if you try 30 days with less salt, treat it as education. Observe honestly, adjust carefully, and keep what genuinely helps you feel better. Your goal is not perfection but partnership with the organs protecting you silently. Few organs embody that quiet loyalty more than your kidneys and heart. They respond to every choice, even when you notice nothing at first. Salt is one choice you can understand and manage with knowledge, not fear. If this helped you, share it, subscribe, and keep learning your body's language.